Hey everyone, I'm Jessica Kramer with MRC-TV. Today we're speaking with Michael Rivera, a Loudoun County parent, to discuss the identity requirement that Loudoun County School Board's Equity Committee is currently looking for. Michael, thank you for coming on to discuss this.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So first, what is the Loudoun County School Board Equity Committee?
So the Equity Committee, I don't know if it was formed last year or the year before. It's supposed to address equity and race issues within Loudoun County Public Schools. Last year, when they were recruiting for the committee, I voiced my opinion that the process seemed to be inherently racist as a matter of the way they asked for folks. So they were looking for, this year, they're looking for Latinos, Hindus, Asian American Pacific Islanders, somebody from the LGBT community, and some high school students. So my question to them last year was, what about the Jewish community? What about the Christian community? What about Filipinos? What about everybody else? Well, there's a disclaimer on the email that says, if you are not in these categories, you can still self-nominate. But I don't understand why we are trying to form a committee based on a very limited number of identified ethnicities and affinity groups in order to present a facade of equity, in order to deal with equity issues in Loudoun County Public Schools. And I think the whole equity initiative is kind of a boondoggle, in my opinion, but that's what's going on with it. So it's not the first year, and now they're recruiting again, and it's a one-year appointment.
So just so that we are clear on this, what is the purpose for its existence? Did they give a justification or a reason why they even have this? And who's currently serving on there?
I don't know who's currently on it, but I believe they are essentially selected by members of the school board. So it's sort of like they get to pick their own folks to be on this equity committee. As far as what it does, I think it's your standard, equity statement of, we want to promote social justice and equity among all policies and initiatives within Loudoun County Public Schools. And to be honest, I really don't know what they do, because we have a director of equity within Loudoun County Public Schools. They were looking to hire another person in admin to serve that position, because they said that person was busy. And all of us, at least parents that wonder about this, are trying to understand, what exactly are they busy doing? Are they going around schools creating issues of race and gender, or are they solving problems? To be honest, nobody really knows what an equity committee is supposed to do, except that they tend to put the lens of race and gender on every single issue, and then policies get made that are supposed to be racially
motivated,
equitable across race and gender. But a perfect example is grading policies. Fairfax County Public Schools is putting together an equity grading policy, which essentially it limits meritocracy and allows more students to pass, which is a disservice to all students, because the high achieving students are now no longer motivated to do well, and the students that are not doing well just automatically pass. So at the end of 4 years, if you finish high school and you go through this equity grading initiative, you graduate potentially not knowing not meeting your academic standards.
Yeah, well, when I was looking through that list, I was honestly kind of surprised that there wasn't Muslim representation. And it's also kind of striking that they think that an entire race of people is monolithic and thinks the same. Are they looking for specific viewpoints within these communities, or are they actually open to having, potentially a Christian on board, or somebody that comes from a more traditional background with a big family? I mean, are they really open to that?
Well, I don't. Again, it kind of gets back to when you said, what is the equity committee supposed to be doing? Nobody that just thinks rationally understands what they're supposed to be doing. So I don't know if they would be interested in a heterosexual Christian male to be on the committee or somebody to represent the Jewish community. It's interesting because I think last year they wanted to have somebody from a Jewish organization that was headquartered in Maryland to represent the Jewish community here in Loudoun County. And a good friend of mine that is Jewish, she's like, well, what about us? What are we? Why don't you pick someone from the community? So I don't put a lot of stock in these types of committees because it just kind of goes along the same grifter, systemic racism mentality that we have to look at everything through the lens of race. And it's really not adding any value to the school. Just to give you a little bit of history, all of this started back in 2019 when the NAACP Loudoun chapter decided to declare LCPS systemically racist. And they worked with Governor Northam and Mark Herring at that time to do a quote unquote investigation. And they came up with this declaration of systemic racism. Well, there actually wasn't, to my knowledge, a legal investigation with findings. However, they were able to coerce the school board at the time. Some of the people on the school board today were on the school board then, and NAACP Loudoun chapter inserted itself into the operations of the school board. So there are some things going on there that need to be exposed, and your reaching out to me was pretty timely because I'm frustrated in that we have no recourse with the school board. And the only way we can make any headway is through legal means and through the media. And so I'm interested in working with the media and exposing these facts until we're able to get more of a spotlight on the Loudoun County School Board, like other school boards have been getting across the country.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that you succeed. Last question. Is this a funded committee? I mean, is taxpayer dollars going towards this?
I don't believe that there's any funding towards the committee itself. There may be some administrative costs, but I don't know that it's a funded committee in that respect. To be honest, it's basically just I think it's just a waste of time because we're giving the illusion of a problem that doesn't exist, and it's quite insulting to the Loudoun community to keep hammering this this tone of systemic racism and the need for equity as if we're a community crumbling around race issues, and we are not. And so hopefully others and I can bring this to the forefront, expose it to the media, and then, kind of move on and just reclaim our school board.
Yeah, well, we appreciate having parents like you on to discuss these matters. We've been following the Loudoun story from the very beginning. Thank you for coming on today.
You're more than welcome. I'll be happy to come on anytime.
Thank you.